victory. I just got another victory. Opposition said they sick of me. We turn their future to history. They try to hit me, they missing me. Ooh, they in the way. They getting stepped on back in the day. We who they slept on. You see my place. It's never.
No, we did not get the victory. We did not get the elusive victory tonight. What's going on, Knicks Nation? I want to welcome you to SB Knicks Live. This is the Knicks versus Bucks post-game reaction. Tough loss tonight. Super tough loss tonight. The New York Knicks lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, 107-111 Milwaukee, in a game we should have absolutely had this evening. But once again, it's an example of learning how to close. Learning how to close. You have former NBA champions, or are they the current NBA champions, in the building. You had them on the ropes. You had their star on their team figured out in a way that you probably haven't had him figured out in a while. I like what Clyde was calling it. He was calling it the Greek Wall. The New York Knicks had figured out, I don't know if they figured it out or another team figured it out and we just watched tape and decided to utilize it. But it was a nice little strategy of taking away that Euro step, that long strided Euro step that the Greek Freak had. And you could tell it frustrated him throughout the game. So this is one that definitely we could have had. This would have taken us to a 5-game win streak. But more importantly, it would have continued to help the New York Knicks serve notice to the league that we're a different team. And although it's not going to show up in the box score, I think the message still remains. We're different, and we're learning how to figure it out. But that was our game that we let go. Jalen Brunson continues to be the Terminator. You know, that is my nickname for him. He is cool, calm, and collected. He is clutch. In front of Madison Square Garden. Man, damn, that was a wasted loss. That was a a win that was ours. So it's a lot of things that are going into this game. Once again, I want to welcome you if you're joining me. This is just a quick reaction, to the game. Man, should have had that one. It was disgusting. I can't front on that, but man. And it was one of those games where I was just like, let's just see where we pull this out at. You can't give the world champions space to get confidence. All right. They were trying to figure out what was hitting them in the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, a couple of things stood out. I'm only holding my words because Julius has been on a tear. He's been on a tear. When he missed the first couple of shots, I'll dive right in. So this game was an interesting game from the outset. The New York Knicks did come to play. They were able to overcome Julius Randle's John Starks moment, at least in the first half. Thank you to IQ. We're going to get into IQ as well. But Julius Randle, man, it was when he went probably, what was it, 0? He was like 0 for 6 or 0 for 7. I got flashbacks. I ain't even going to hold you. I got flashbacks to the mother flipping NBA Finals and John Starks, where as a young man, I was pleading with Pat Riley, bro, just take him out. I know you want him to be a star. I know you want him to go down in the law of the NBA as that player that finally hit that shot to help him win the NBA Finals, but take him out. We got Rolando Blackman on the bench. We got Hubert Davis on the bench. Put them in. Take this man out. He is cold as hell. That was the moment that I was revisiting while I was watching Julius just go for like 3-point shot and 3-point shot. And you know when it's an ominous sign, when the opposite team is doing the same and they're also missing shots. And to me, that's the sign. This is the saying that I have. At one point, do you realize something is a trap and you turn around? At what point do you realize something is a trap and you turn around? And the goal, well, all of those misses at the beginning of the game in the first quarter for Julius, to miss all those 3-point shots and you continue to keep taking them, I knew the trap was there. When they were missing their shots, so the game was still 1 point difference or tie, I was like, yo, we got to switch that up. I wrote it in my notes. Julius needs to forget about 3-pointers for the rest of the game. Just forget about 3-pointers for the rest of the game. That's it. Whew. But to his credit, IQ came in. A couple of people had an outstanding game. It's funny, I posted on the community board. If you go to the YouTube channel, check the community board. I posted on the community board that Jules is going to show up, but this game is going to be won, and the guards are going to be at the forefront of the win. Now, I was off in terms of the outcome, and we were there, and the game should have been ours. But the guards showed out tonight, man, and I feel bad. I feel bad. IQ came in, and IQ was flame throwing. You know, IQ was poised. He didn't put up any heat check shots. His shots were calculated and strategic. He ran the offense. He played defense. I mean, I don't know what else I could say about IQ, man. I believe he had 23? Is that 23? Did he end with 25? I think he had anywhere between 23 and 25 points. Man. But I'm gonna ride out on this. Let me go to the chat real quick. Ashley says that was a disgusting loss. It was agreed. This should be our 5th straight. This should absolutely be our 5th straight win, as opposed to this loss snapping our 4-game win streak. All right. Ashley also says one of my only complaints about Randall is whenever he goes 1 for 5, or worse from 3 in the first quarter or half, he stops taking threes. My guy Steve Mendez says bottom line is we lost. We choked it. That's true, man. I mean, it's true. It's true. In a loss like this, you can't sit and dwell on it, though. My point is you can't sit and dwell on it. I mean, it's going to set in, and, you know, that film session needs to be obvious. It needs to be direct, you know. But everybody sitting through that film session is going to know. It's going to know what was the cause of this loss. You know, I mean, we could sit here and we could talk about the 3-pointers, you know, that Randall, you know, was missing. Or we could talk about those critical moments where it looked like Jalen Brunson tried to give Randall the opportunity to make a good decision or take a foul. He set him up nice. Randall fumbled the ball. He fumbled those moments. You know, nice little open shot. You know, he kind of drove in, lost the ball. There was another play. I don't know if I had it here in the notes, but I know it was 2 plays that ultimately gave the opposite team the ball. And Brunson had the opportunity to play hero ball, but he gave the ball up. So it was certain moments. Oh, man. Damn, that should have been our game, man. There's no getting around it. You know, listen, people know me. You know, my cousin called me K-pop now. He watched the video. He calls me K-pop. He calls me the Knicks Prince of Positivity. Whaleflower gave me the title. It was between, you know, we was talking about it. I know Whaleflower was on the call. We had my special guest on there. Chances was on the call. And I was just like, man, I'm Prince of Positivity. So he was calling me POP. But this one is tough. This one is tough, man. This one is tough, man. This one is tough. You can't be up 15 to 17 points in the third quarter and let this game go. And I also felt it once I seen Giannis begin to attempt to drive the basketball and start looking for Ingles. Once I saw him start doing that, I said, okay, I see. He's going to let the shooters win this game. Right away. There were moments, though, honestly, Grimes played excellent defense. He was playing excellent defense. Drew Holiday just made better shots. He made great shots, but he wouldn't have those opportunities if you play smart basketball and you close. We can't be up 15 to 17 at this point. We are now beyond the half point of the season. So to Steve's point and to Ash's point, once you get past that half point of the season, all of those lessons should have been learned. All right. The first quarter of the season is figuring out who's going to be part of your rotation. All right. And giving people an opportunity to gel. The second, quarter of the season is once you now have set your roster, how do you play together? Are you now becoming familiar with where people needs to be on the floor? You know what the skill sets are. You know what the expectations are. You're playing for each other. You've established the culture. You're in this rhythm. Now it's a matter of stringing games together and learning from the losses. But at this point now, the primary focus needs to be closing games. What is your strategy to close games? And how are you locking in? And it was too many moments, man, where you feel that momentum slipping and the players will get jittery, whether it's not keeping your eye on the ball or, not paying attention to who's coming up behind you if you're bringing the ball up the floor, not talking on the floor. All of those things contribute to losses, man. But this is unheard. I mean, this is one we're going to have to forget quickly. We're going to have to forget this quickly. But this ain't going to be all me talking. This is my reaction, I know, but let me hop into the chat, man. See what y'all saying. Steve Mendez says, we watched the same film over and over, and we still don't get it. I think you're right, Steve. Yeah, Ashley says, why didn't Sims get any minutes, especially when iHeart and Fournier were so off? That is a great point. I'm just realizing that Sims didn't get any minutes. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe we'll hear more about it post-game. Somebody will bring that up. Deuce got 14 minutes when Fournier should have not played. I thought it was curious, man. I thought it was curious that Fournier got some burn early. I do know that they wanted to bring Obi. I think that's the answer to our Sims question. I think now that Obi was reinserted with a few minutes, there had to be an odd man out. And I know your point is, yeah, so why Hartenstein? Let Jericho play. And I agree. I don't know what that is. I think, honestly speaking, I think it's the bigs that are on the floor are stretch bigs. So they wanted to at least have somebody where they had to honor, their possibility for offensive output. So that's why Hartenstein was in there. But I think I'm probably overthinking it. I think Hartenstein is somebody that Tibbs favors, so Sims didn't get in at least this game. We'll keep an eye on that moving forward, though. Keep an eye on that moving forward. So let me finish up. Yes, sorry, Ashes, but great point, Ash. Steve Mendez also says, I totally agree. Where was Sims' minutes? Yes, we got Jerry in here. Thurville. The Knicks had the game. The Knicks had this game, man. I'm always a glass half filled. So what I see, but I'm not extremely angry. Once again, this is like we've crossed over. We're literally a game past half the season. Okay, 82 games. I think this is game 41 or 42. Okay, so we're literally passing the halfway point. Where our record is right now, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the work and all that went into getting us to this point. At this point, though, there was so much that we showed in this game. We showed that we still have offensive firepower off of the bench. The bench came in with Quick, did a great job. His growth, all of that is evident. This game should have. We should have won this game. I can't do it. We should have won this damn game. Okay. Let me stay focused. What were some things that stood out to me? First and foremost, man, Jalen Brunson. There is nobody in the world that can argue if that signing wasn't a great signing. That signing was more than a great signing. And I remember when the rumors were out there for Jalen Brunson that there was a possibility that we might get him. Put together a video, man. If you have an opportunity, I'm not trying to just promo my content. Go back and check the paid in full video about Brunson, because I know there was a lot of people who didn't want Brunson when the rumor was out there. They were saying that was a moment. The Knicks always do this. That was a moment he had next to Luka, who's a superstar. He's going to come to us and be run of the mill. And I did this video that forced me really to dive into his tape, to dive into his film. And I'm like, man. But more importantly, what I love was when I started to dive into his interviews. And in his interviews, he said, I felt as if when I was playing next to Luka, it held me back. He said, I know I could take my game to another level. And that's what I think New York provides me the opportunity to take my game to another level. I think I could be even better than what it is that I've shown. And he's been true to his word. He's been true to his word. He tried to will us to this win. He 100% tried to will us to this win. So it was great watching that. That's where I get some positivity from. You know what I mean? I look at it, I'm like, damn, man, that effort. I hate to have wasted that effort, similar to the effort that we wasted for RJ in that game. But once again, it's just like, man, how do we learn? How do we learn from this moment and move forward? How are we going to come out on Friday against whoever the team it is that we're facing on Friday? All right. This was a winnable game against the world champions. They've taken some tough losses recently. We should have added to that loss column, but we let an opportunity slip. So one thing I noticed very early on was Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday was on Quentin Grimes, to start the game. So that was something I kind of appreciated, for him to be playing the point guard position and not guarding Brunson. I think they knew there was a possibility that if he was on Brunson early, he may get into foul trouble. But I also think him being on Quentin Grimes was a hat tip sign of respect. Like, we're not going to let you get off early, young man. So either way could be taken as something notable, where that the tape is out on us now, and they're realizing that the young players in our lineup, if you don't even know their names, don't take them lightly, because they're helping this team put together some wins. Something else early on that I saw, which I was happy with, was they tried to feed Mitch in the post. And I saw that. I was just like, yo, that's something unique. It's not unique. They've been doing it over, I'd say, in spurts in the second quarter of the season. They want Mitch to get some touches. I might be a little bit off. I might be a little bit all over the place, because this game bothers me. We absolutely should have had it. But Mitch continues his outstanding play. I don't know if it shows up in the box score, but very early on, not only Mitch but the team, they had quick, active hands. They were in the passing lanes. The one thing that obviously lost us the game that we really couldn't corral was the three-point line and the three-point defense. For the first time in a while, that reared its ugly head. And we really didn't recognize early on that you really need to guard that three-point line against this team. You really need to guard the three-point line against this team. They'll make you pay. They're bigs and they're smalls. They will make you pay. No pun intended. Biggie Smalls, New York. Let's go. All right. But that was one thing that I just think, and I think we left an opportunity on the table when Drew Holiday got into foul trouble early. I think that's when we pushed up the score. Is when he got back into the game that the game kind of got away from us as well. So Excuse me. Yep. So that was another thing that stood out. I think when we got down early, there was no panic. And that's something to kind of point out. Although we lost this game, and what I'm about to say is hypocritical, right? When we got down in the game a little bit early, something that would always bother me very early in the season was I'd start to panic. Like, damn, here we go again. We had this run. They came back. They overtook us. We started to go down a few points, and then we would completely lose that game. There was no panic once this team goes down. It's always this sense of, all right, how much time we got on the clock? Let's see what they do. Somebody's going to draw a foul. Brunson, I think that's just the key and the comfort in having a good point guard. Because once we started going down and looking at the clock, it's just like, all right, we have the player on the team that can come up big with shots. We actually have a few. All right. When you have Jalen Brunson, when you have Grimes, we don't even want to talk about the number of shots that he didn't take this game. So it was just crazy. Let me stop. Let's take a look real quick and see what these stats look like. So once again, we were looking at Jalen Brunson having 44 points this game. Quentin Grimes continue to find other ways to try to continue to contribute to this game. He was 0 for 3 from the three-point line. I would have been 100% fine with him going where he went in terms of all the misses where Randall went, but he was 1 of 7 from the floor. One of the first times he had a minus in terms of plus minus. He was -5 on this game. All right. I usually don't do the stats, man. This is about the narrative, the feel of the game, how I felt, what I saw, the eye test. But I have to take a look just at these stats real quick. Julius Randle. Oh, shit. Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this man's field goal attempts. He was 9 for 29. 9 for 29. And we still had a chance to win. That's the part. I couldn't hold it down. 9 for 29, bro. Stop shooting. Stop shooting. Man, we gotta go away from you. Be a playmaker. And I think his confidence was impacted in mid-game. When I talked about the turnovers, Jalen Brunson had a nice little run. He hit a three-pointer, hit a couple of shots, and he tried to share the wealth. And he found Julius Randle in the lane twice. And Julius passed up on a shot, and he tried to go to the basket. And I think it was like the offensive foul against Greek Freak. I think that was one of them. It's big moments. I think he gets nervous. I think there is a comfort level having Jalen Brunson on a team because Jalen Brunson has blood, like what is it? Ice water going through the veins. And he recognizes that. So he will much rather do what he does in terms of getting his points. But when it comes to big shots, I think he's completely fine that being Brunson. All right. So that weight don't fall on him. But man, this should have been our game. This should have been our game. Other points that I noticed pretty early, Julius was. I think we already know about Julius. All right, but something else that was funny, and this stood out. All right, during the game, I'm starting to notice. I guess it's because All-Star game is coming up. Because of the All-Star game coming up, I'm noticing that the MSG network. So whether it's the network, whether it's their social media, whether it's the sideline reporters, or whether it's the commentating crew, right? They're on this media relations tour to big up Julius. And 100% they should. Let's not get it twisted and let's not get lost. Let's not our vision get blurred and have this one game impact what Julius has been doing for the last like 20 games. All right. He's been having an all-star season. He's an all-star. Okay, he's been playing all-star caliber basketball. But what I just noticed it's just funny, and I don't think it's negative, but it's this PR campaign that starts with the commentators. And then, let's go down to the sideline reporter. And the sideline reporter's like, yes, the leadership that Julius is showing He called up Mitchell Robinson and said, come out to Texas. And Mitchell Robinson drove his truck there. And then you talk about, and Julius, he's been, oh man, he's just been doing X, Y, and Z. And I notice it. And when it's obvious like that, that's when it bothers me. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I think they know that divide between the fans and Julius is pretty much closed. We respect what it is that we see on the floor in terms of production. So we got that. Julius said what he said, where he was just like, listen, playing in front of the fans. That was his way of apologizing to the fans. But yo, chill, y'all. Don't force feed stuff, because there's gonna be games like this. When you're force feeding it, it's just not gonna feel natural. It's not gonna feel right. All right. So, but that was one of the moments where I was just like, damn, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. What the hell? All right, we're gonna get that out of the way. Sorry, folks. Give me one moment. Yeah, man, but let me go back to the chat. These Knicks got me in my feelings today. Big task at hand. What up, my guy? First and foremost, Happy New Year. What's going on? Big task at hand. Happy New Year to you, brother. Hope all is well. All is well. Outside of tonight's game, all is well. Okay. Said, bro, Hartenstein is a pinball. Why is he in the game? Oh, man, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know and what I do know and suspect is this. February trade deadline. All right. So there may be a lot of moves that we're looking and we're wondering and we're questioning about. And it could be an opportunity for him to continue to be on display. Now, some people will say, well, why wouldn't Cam be playing? I think with Cam has an injury history. So I just think they want to put bubble wrap over Cam so he don't get injured and we find a way for him to get to another team and get some playing time. But with Isaiah Hartenstein, I think you got to show him. I don't know. I'm hoping that that's something along those lines, because honestly, truly, I think backing up Mitch should be Sims. I think it is. I do think we have rare depth at the center position, though. So I don't want to completely poo-poo Hartenstein because goodness forbid if an injury happens, he's going to fit in there nicely, But this is a game we should have won, man. There's nowhere else, no other way of saying it. This is a game that we should have won. All right. Well, I'm gonna do something a little different, man, because I feel as if my mood is bringing down everything. So it's just, damn, yeah, we should have won this game. But what I will do is I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If anybody want to hop on here and talk about this thing, you are welcome to do so. New York Knicks go down in Madison Square Garden tonight to the Milwaukee Bucks, 111-107, spoiling a career night from Jalen Brunson. This young man has really, if we were having an MIP, if we were talking about who is the MVP of this team, I think hands down it's Jalen Brunson. Not in my lifetime, and I know I'm about to be disrespectful to Patrick Ewing. Not in my lifetime have I been watching these Knicks, and this is since I've been watching. Man, I've been watching the Knicks since like '93, since 1993. In terms of cognizantly watching the Knicks, not being in the room while my father was watching them. Rooting for this team since 1993. Okay. Never. I've always seen it happen against us. Michael Jordan. What's his name? Reggie Miller. I've seen other teams have players who hit big time, reliable shots in clutch moments. Just when I thought we had them on the ropes, ready to knock the opposite team out, there was a player on the opposite team that always seemed to come through in the clutch. Never. And I always wish we had that on our team. Now, what I will say, not take away from Patrick Patrick was a nightmare matchup for, if there were 28 teams at that time, for, let me say, 22. He was a nightmare for 22 of the teams in the NBA. They couldn't do nothing with him. They tried to post him up. First and foremost, his calling card was defense. He figured out how to play offense when he got into the league. He would post you up. He would pull you out to the perimeter, and he had about 3 or 4 moves that was like medicine. Give it time, they'll always work. All right. So going into watching, being a Knicks fan at that time with Patrick Ewing was the star, was awesome because you knew that he was going to get his numbers, that they couldn't stop him. We knew at the center position, we got that. All right. And not since then, I think, have we had a player who going into it, it's just like, yo, we got a matchup nightmare. I think I wrote in my notes, I was just like, the league, the Eastern Conference is concerned about the Knicks because of our point guard. When's the last time we could say that? When is the last time we could say any team is concerned when they're game planning for us? You got to watch the point guard. Man. So that, like, when it comes to that, I'm loving that. I'm also just loving, seeing our young guys on the floor, our young vets, because they're not kids no more. These aren't these are young vets. These are like, we have a young team coming up. So this type of game where we were up 15, we shouldn't have lost. And the team needs to know exactly what it was. I think ultimately, when you add the wrinkle of bringing Obi back into the flow of things, that's a little bit different. I think that chipped into Deuce really getting in there and getting his minutes so he can get his rhythm. Having Fournier once again, I think that loosened it up. There was one play where he missed an assignment, and I saw it, and I'm like, see, that's what I'm talking about. But then the very next play, like, he was fighting over and under screens, and he made a great defensive play. So I'm like, all we are asking, put forth the effort. But those moments, those mind freeze moments, they add up, and they lead to moments like this, where you give a team who is championship medal and a window where they can come in and say, all right, listen, let us remind you who we are. You can't give them that window anywhere near the fourth quarter. And that's what we did, man. When it was single digits, getting out of the third or down to whatever, I believe it was single digits going into the third, I said, yeah, we in trouble. We in trouble. We in trouble with this one. So, yeah, that's what it was. Ash says, I would jump on, but I just sat down at my favorite Thai restaurant and about to crush this spicy seafood meal. You don't jump on. You be real disrespectful. You jump on with that meal and that food, man. That joy sound good. Says, I'm in Cali, so it's only $7.50. Yo, damn, throw some sun this way, man. I'm in Indiana, man. So shout out to you, though. I understand it. Ashley goes on also to say, I know you got tips back, but almost every failure tonight could have had coaching intervention. 100% facts. 100% facts. Immediately to me, it was the 3-point line. It was the 3-point line. You got to go into this game. If you know Milwaukee, and I know that's why you have assistant coaches to kind of scout up and give you a game plan in terms of the scouting report for the team you're about to play. Everybody knows. I think they did a great job. If we're going to talk about some of the coaching, I just think they did a great job disrupting Giannis. So they took away that number one option. But it was around the third quarter when he kept stumbling and bumbling and seeing, he had one moment where he just wanted to bully through, and he did. He was successful in bullying through that 3-person wall. We were a little bit slow in putting it together, but we've been successful in doing it. And Julius had found some success guarding him one-on-one. So I want to give Julius props with respect to that. But once Giannis started realizing, all right, I'm noticing that it takes 3 people to create that wall. Somebody got to be open. And when the coach saw that, that was a moment where Tibbs got out coached. So when the coach saw, okay, y'all pulling 3 players together to stop Giannis from impacting the game as he does, that 2-step stride, Euro step to get to the basket, kick it out. I'm going to put more shooters out there. That's when Grayson Allen came into the game. That's when Ingles came into the game. That's when Brooke had the green light to stand out there and shoot threes. So Rob is kind of like, all right, do I stay in the paint and be part of this wall? Or am I going to be able to get around this pick and there was no way to doing it? You know, so it was masterful. You got to give their coach credit. Realized that pretty early on, and their team kept them closer. It was 3-point shots that killed us this game. Without them hitting those threes, they wouldn't have gotten back into the game. Without them hitting those threes, they wouldn't have won the game. So it was a coaching faux pas not to adjust to the 3-point shooting early enough. So, Ash, you 100% spot on with that. There's no protecting Tibbs on this one. I'm not taking the Tibbs tablets. They're in the medicine cabinet in the bathroom. All right? Not tonight. Tibbs got to get this smoke. Tibbs got to get this work. But, man, yeah, it's just tough. I was going to do Knicks Deli tomorrow. I probably still will, but I know the cupboards are going to be bare. The Milwaukee Bucks came in there. They took the eggs and the cheese and the bacon. God damn it, they done robbed the store. So we're gonna be, you know, what we do when you ain't got no food in the cabinet. You break open the pork and beans, you know, you throw some Franks in that joint. We having Franks and beans at Knicks Deli tomorrow. Okay, the Milwaukee Bucks left us with bare cupboards. Okay. But let me just see. I mean, if there is anything else to kind of point at, once again, I just think Fournier, although he was on the floor, I think he was making good rotations. I wrote this down as a note as well. Let me see. Deuce. I think Deuce had a steal at one point and hit the 3-point shot. That could have been a momentum changer for us. And Emmanuel Quickly was on fire. I don't think enough can be said about Emmanuel Quickly. I'm going to be putting a video together for Julius Randle. All right. I mean, tonight is what it is. All right. He could be looked at as the primary reason for this loss. But in terms of his last 20 games, man, he's been solid. He's been more than solid. He's been an all-star. And part of my outline for this video that I'm going to be putting out is just, man, how do you – it takes I mean, you know, as a New Yorker, if you're from New York, you know what it means to be a New Yorker, all right? Resilient, persevering, courageous, sometimes cocky, stubborn, you know, all of those elements that you know you're going to need in order to be successful in New York. That's what we were questioning very early on with Julius. I know when he first got here and he got that contract, he had that burden of feeling as if he had to be the man because he was the highest paid person on the team. And, you know, that's when he was struggle busting. And he had that goddamn spin move, that spinning and sinning, and it was crazy, you know? And we was like, yo, get him out of here, get the front office out of here, get the coach out, get everybody out of here, okay? For him to come back and have the season that he had the second season and turn it around and then completely show us, all right, I see you got something there. Only to have a season like he did last season, right, where thumbs down, things were going not his way. He had to adjust to a different role, different players, and the season was trash. And then to start out the season the way he did this year. So the fact that he's still here, first and foremost, makes me believe he's not going anywhere. The organization is going to ride out with him as well. And I think as he should. For you to have 2 seasons out of the 4 that you've been here, where you've been competing for all-star consideration, it is what it is. And during that time, he's shown the ability to persevere, the ability to play at a high level. When Julius is playing at his highest of level, there's not many people who could play with him in this league. Those are facts. I can't take that from him. Nobody can take that from him. All right. If we're talking about top power forwards in this league, you got to mention Julius Randle's name. Those are facts. And I challenge any of those other power forwards who are thriving and striving and make up that top 10. How many of them could be able to do the same thing in New York? That's a fact. You know, so tonight, it's one of those things, man. You know, it's one of those things. I think he felt the past few games he was so hot from the outside that it would ignite, and it didn't. It didn't. I think he wanted that same touch that same orange and blue juju to hit at Madison Square Garden. I think he wanted that so bad. I think he wanted to show up and show out so bad for Madison Square Garden. And he knew it would drop. I think it was the matchup with Giannis coming into the Garden. I think he wanted to give some of that work to Giannis tonight. And it didn't work out for him. I think he wanted to do that for the Garden. And that's where you gotta, when they look at the film, it's going to be one conversation that's had. But when Jalen Brunson and all of them go out to lunch or wherever the next day, I think that's the conversation that's going to have to be brought up to Julius. Let's continue to do what got us here. All right. If you don't feel it's dropping, let's look for other things. Move the ball around. Let's figure something else out. We had Quick rolling. There was an out there. Quick picked it up. He gave you an out so we can adjust the type of game that we're going to be having to secure this win. You kept going back to the well, bro. This is not Toronto. This is not wherever we were when you were on fire. As much as you want to do that for Madison Square Garden, for the fans, read the game. Tom Thibodeau always says the game will tell you what to do. He wasn't listening to the game tonight. This man wasn't listening to the game tonight. He had earmuffs on. He wasn't listening to the game. He was just like, I'm not trying to hear you, game. I'm not hearing it. All right? Tom Thibodeau says the game will tell you what to do. He wasn't listening. You know, so let me see some of these comments. That's just they robbed us and left our pockets like rabbit ears. Facts. But we got another opportunity to get it right on Friday. Start a new streak. Oh yeah, my guy Big Tasker in hand says, "Oh Lord, that spin move." Listen, man, the spin-a-rooney is banned in Madison Square Garden. We don't want that here. Trash. That's a trash move. Spinning and sinning. Yo, I don't listen. As an aside, all right, we already know that this game was a heartbreaker. This game was really annoying in terms of it should have been ours, you know. But I do know, I think there was a Brunson that fell into the crowd. I think he fell into the announcer's table. Did Clyde curse? Because he came back out of a commercial break and said, I want to apologize to the listeners when Brunson hit the table. And I'm like, yo, are we just that New York where I don't hear the profanity? Because Clyde already had a different moment. If this would have been a win, Clyde would have had my nah, son, nah, you wildin' moment of the game. Yo, I could always depend on Uncle Clyde, man, to come through with something. I forget what he says on here. I don't have it right away. But Clyde was wildin'. He said something that had me. So very early on in the game, Brunson was diving for the loose ball in the crowd, and he should have let it go. So I think somebody was just like, that was a good effort, And Clyde was just like, nah, folks, that was a stupid effort by Brunson. You don't want to risk getting injured this early in the game. So that had me rolling, man. I'm like, yo, you can guarantee, you can leave it to Uncle Clyde to be honest, man. You can leave it to him to be honest. That was funny. My man, my guy, Clutch B-Ball TV, shout out to you, man. I already know, bro. So frustrating, man. Free Jericho Sims. Clutch, man, do this for me, man. Hop on, bro. Hop on. The link is in the chat. Hold on. Let me put it back on there. Hop on. Jericho Sims. Once again, I believe it was Obi that prompted Sims not getting the minutes that he was supposed to get tonight, that he typically was getting. That's brought us much of the success we've had over this 4-game win streak that we were having. But yeah, this is on Tibbs. This is really on Julius, man. I'm all over the place. You see, this loss got me all over the place. It's either Julius or it is Tibbs. Or both. They both are going to be in this Nasa Nah You Wildin' moment of the day moment. Okay? Because no doubt. Got you. But it's I don't know. Once again, I'll say it is an opportunity to learn. We're a young team, and it's going to be this level of frustration some nights. But I tell you this much: we much rather get these moments of frustration out now. All right, get it out now. Get it out of the way right now. You can clearly watch the film and see we should have won this game. But this type of feeling that we have is different from years past, where you look at it and be like, "Man, we lost all these games by 1 point," you know. But you knew we probably was out of sheer effort that we were that close. Here, we not only have the effort, we have the ability and we have the talent on the team that we should be winning some of these games by like 10 points. This game, we should have won by 12 points tonight. Inexcusable. This game should have been won by like 10 points tonight. So that clearly, once again, that falls on Julius. Julius has to take his responsibility. He has to stand up in front of his team in the locker room and say, one too many times, but this one is on me. This one is on me. And then coach needs to stand up and be like, I appreciate you taking ownership, but this is on me as well. This is on me as well. I should have realized the lineup changes they were having and not stuck to my substitute card. I should have played chess a little bit with the opposite coach. Once they put their shooters out there, you really couldn't do nothing with it. Grayson Allen, Brooke Lopez. Two players I hate to see on the victorious side in Madison Square Garden. Bobby Portis and Brooke Lopez. I don't know what it is, but I just hate Bobby Portis. Hate is a strong word, so it's appropriate. I don't like Bobby Portis. I don't like the googly eyes. I think he's a fake Kurt Thomas. He's going to – I know why I don't like him. When he went to Milwaukee, he talked about an organization – that was a winning organization. It feels good to go to a winning organization. Although he may have been right. He knew the fans were listening. And he probably wasn't thinking about us, but I was listening. So it was just like, all right, talk saucy if you want to. And then he won a world championship. And he played a great role in it. And I was like, damn. So I hate seeing Bobby Portis get a win on us. And Brooke Lopez is just annoying. Because he is a former Net. And because he was able to adjust with the game and stay in the game all of these years, kudos to him, but he's fucking annoying. So for those two to be on the opposite side, on the victorious side against us, fucking sick. So we'll see how it goes. Chat, help me out a little bit. Who do we have on Friday? Who's next up for us? Anybody knows who's next up for us? Will we rebound? Is the question. Once again, the Knicks go down. If you are just joining us, Knicks go down to the Milwaukee Bucks in New York, 111-107. It's good to see Obi back. Good to see Obi back. He adds to our bench. My God, delusional Knicks fan network. We wasted Brunson's 44 career high. We absolutely did. Absolutely did. The stream link is in the chat. If you want to hop on and join us. But right now, I want to bring in my guy to the stream, Noah Cahill from @ClutchBball TV. What's up, guy?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Outside of this game, how are you?
Bro, I am. You would be proud of me, bro. You would be proud of me. Let me say that because I'm at a loss for words. I tried to come on here. They called me on the channel the Prince of Positivity, right?
Yeah.
And my cousin heard that. He started calling me K-pop. So he was just like, "You're the Knicks Prince of Positivity." I'm like, you're not gonna disrespect me and call me K-pop.
Yeah.
So I came on here trying to think. All right, listen, it's one of those games where we have to kind of quickly forget about it and look at the next game. But I can't do that so easily. I'm like, you got to look at this. My guy, Steven Mendez is in here. He says, you can't gloss over this shit. You got to recognize that, we should have won this flipping game. So what are your feelings? What are your feelings on this game, bro?
I'm just so hurt. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just sad. I'm honestly just so sad after this game because if you told me, like, after this game, like, if I didn't watch it, oh, Giannis, what do you have, only 22 points? I'm like, oh, we probably won that. Like,
Hmm.
oh, we dominated on defense for 3 quarters, despite us like not scoring much in the first. That Brunson literally put this team on his back. What do you have, like 18 over 22 points in the first quarter? You have quickly that Sapsley goes off. He's one of the main reasons we started to take control in the second. Yeah,
Facts.
Randall started off shooting horrible. He still didn't shoot an overall great game, but he started to attack downhill. He started to be more aggressive. He was playing good defense. He was rebounding. But I'll say this with Randall. See, I really appreciate Randall's body language this year. I feel like he has a better attitude. But just something about the fourth quarter. He could be playing good basketball for 3 quarters. His confidence, I feel like, just goes away in the fourth quarter. Like, he hesitates. I'm not even trying to hate. It's
Yeah.
just like he doesn't make rapid, quick decisions. But I was just thinking of this also. So Randall, 41 points against the Spurs, lost. RJ, 44 points against the Bulls, lost. Yeah, Jalen Brunson, career high against the Milwaukee Bucks, loss. It's just like we keep on wasting these performances. We're playing such good defense. The 3-point defense, just like, of course it's Joe Ingles. Like, yeah, he's a good, but it's like his breakout game. Drew Holiday, he was hitting the most difficult. He couldn't hit a shot all game. Drew Holiday, he starts hitting the most like the crazy shots ever. There was one three that just hurt my heart so much that Randall's playing solid defense on Giannis this game. If Giannis gets the 2 points, he gets the 2 points. But like Fournier leaves Grayson Allen so wide open, I just didn't understand at all. And I can't stand watching hard stuff anymore. I can't stand watching. He's gonna play hard, but he had a Charles Smith moment.
Oh my! Oh no, you did.
He couldn't make a shot at all. Again, he's gonna play hard. He's gonna get like his 5 or 6 rebounds, but his rebounds aren't like big time rebounds. Like I can't stand watching them anymore. But we're not going to get much offensive production off the bench. Like if you're just looking at the players, McBride, I thought he played tough on defense. I thought he had that really nice moment that the Bucks got the defensive rebound. He stripped them, and then we gave it up to, I forgot who it was, but then he hit the 3. But 2 dumb turnovers, offensive rebounds. We became stagnant on offense. We needed more from Randall down the stretch. We can't count on Brunson. We needed more. We needed more. Grimes, I'm not going to say it's all on Grimes. We don't consistently get him involved in the offense. But I'll say this. Grimes has a quick first step. Like, he really does.
He does.
I feel like he always gets past the first man. When he made that reverse layup, I was like, oh.
Bro.
But just the
talk to me a little bit about Jalen Brunson, man. And just talk to me a little bit about that. I don't want to put the words in your mouth. I just want to hear, like, what's your reaction just to not only this game. Yeah, just talk to me about Jalen Brunson.
It's worth every penny.
Bruh.
He's worth. There's so many games this season. I'm like, we wouldn't have won if it wasn't for him. Like, everyone's just gonna point at, like, he's hit some big shots for us, but sadly, him missing those free throws against Chicago is just gonna overshadow so much. And everyone's gonna talk about the mid-range, the footwork, which is amazing, the 3-pointers. But I was just so happy about the free throws, honestly, this entire. I was just so happy about him. But like, he's just willing to take on the challenge. Like, he knows when to give up the ball. But I just love that we have a player that's just like, no, I'm gonna take over the game.
Bro,
like,
talk your talk.
This is the time to take over the game. But it just hurts so much that this dude kept on hitting big shot after big shot. And then we give up a 3-pointer like all the time. It's just like these guys couldn't hit a shot all game.
Oh, my gosh.
But I love Brunson. He's a mentally tough dude. Obviously, he's from New York, which makes it even better. Grew up a Knicks fan. And I'm not going to lie. I was one of those people that I was like, I thought Brunson was a solid player, but he's actually surpassed my expectations.
You weren't the only one, bro. You weren't. It was a lot. I don't want to say a lot of us. It wasn't me.
I wasn't.
But it was a lot. It was a lot of people.
I wasn't saying bad, but I didn't know he had a bag like this. I didn't know he was going to be able to just like create like this. Like, I knew he was capable of it, but not at this high of a level. Yeah. And he even like snagged some rebounds in this game. At one point, he had like, let's see how many rebounds he finished with. Finished with 7 rebounds, and he's 6'1". Like, he's a competitor, and yeah, he's surpassed my expectations. After this game, I think he's gonna be averaging like 21 points, and then if RJ comes back and he starts averaging 20 again, because that game that he left in the first quarter, it hurt his stats a lot. So we went from like 20 points per game to 19.7. But that would be kind of cool having 3 players averaging 20 plus points for us in the starting lineup. I don't remember the last time we've had that, honestly.
Yeah. I think what I love is the fact that we're getting accustomed to winning. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I mean, we're long overdue. So Knick fans absolutely deserve to have a win up on this floor. Knick fans, 100% can't be faulted for expecting this team to secure these wins, man. But
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, what I love is seeing the matchups when they play other Eastern Conference teams that are good, who have point guards. I love seeing him introduce himself to all the guards in the East who are going to be on that, who are currently, ranked high in terms of all-star votes. I love going into the game to see how they adjust to him and how they play him and see him terrorize the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? That's something we talked about that a little bit earlier, man, just having one of those players now on our team. What I saw from Julius, and I'm glad you brought that up, man, just a couple, moments where he's just not, I think we talked about Jalen Brunson being a security blanket for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that he doesn't have to take those big shots in those big moments. Brunson doesn't. But this type of game, just reinforces the fact that he's a phenomenal number 3 option.
Who, Randall? Yeah.
Randall. We have our number 2 option. So we got to endure these moments because these moments are window dressing for the number 1 option when they're ready to get out of whatever contract they're in.
Mm-hmm.
We have a number. Now, some people will say, was that Donovan Mitchell? I know.
Wait, let's just their Twitter went crazy when this man dropped 71 points. I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, holy shit, 71 oh my god. Like, I don't that's one game that, like, I don't even care if we lose 71 points now. That's but yeah, go on.
No, hold on. All right. So let me hit these chats real quick. So we got Delusional once again. Shout out to you, bro. You're doing great work on your channel.
What's going on?
We see you. Love your graphics as well. He says Wizards on Friday. Good. So we have an opportunity for a bounce back game.
Poor Porzingis. He's been playing pretty good this year. So
yeah. So we got to make sure we shut that down quick. Ashley Inc. 1 says Randall, number 27 in 3-pointers made, number 104 in 3-point percentage. Really? Make that make sense.
I think it's because of volume. He takes a lot of threes. Like, this is the most threes he's taken in a season. If you didn't know, like, I made a video, what was that, a few days ago on Randall. It's like the thumbnail was like, should we keep him or trade him? Because he's playing really good ball right now. But this is the thing with
Value high.
we'll see really good stretches, and then it's just like, because he has so much talent. All he says, he's the best, like some of the best talent in the world. But it comes down to his IQ. Like, if you want to be a superstar, think of the best players in the world. LeBron, when a double team's coming, he knows when to give up the ball. Jokic, double team coming, he can give up the basketball. Giannis wasn't scoring at a high level, but he still finished with like 5 assists. But he's attempting like 7 threes per game this year. And I'm not saying he's a terrible shooter, Randall. I think he's a solid shooter, but I don't think he should be taking 7 threes a game, honestly. But
Facts. Yeah. Ashley Inc. also says, I'm surprised that Noah didn't pull all of his hair out tonight.
So Ashley, subscribe to my channel too. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a haircut soon, so I don't have to do that.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I was just saying a little bit earlier, something I really enjoyed. First off, it was a great game up until the third.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was watching Julius put out those shots, and I'm like, bro, at a certain point, bro, you just got to stop, give up on it. Just give up on it. Somebody got to tell them to. You know, like Pat Riley all over again and John Starks in the 93, 94 season. But they were playing good basketball, man. You can't be up 15 to 17 points and let this game go.
It sucks. We're playing such good defense. Like, that's some of the defense I've seen like all year from this team.
Yeah.
But all right, so I want to ask you this though, like, what were your true expectations after this game? I'm not gonna lie. Like, me as a Knicks fan, I'm like, we're gonna win. Like, my heart.
Oh yeah.
But seeing the other night that the Bucks got humiliated by the Hornets, I'm like, they're gonna be hungry. Like, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna win this game. But then when I saw we're up 17 points, I'm not gonna say the game was in the bag because we're Knicks. You know, no lead is safe. But what were your true expectations, like, really entering this game? What were your true thoughts on it?
Look, so it's funny because I put it on my community post, so you know I'm not capping.
Yeah.
So I put it on my community post. I said, Jules is going to show up tonight, but this game is going to be determined by our guards, and the Knicks are going to win. So I posted that up, and I was just like, all right, I saw Brunson and Quick going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, all right, Julius don't got it. He don't got it. But, Quick stepped up. Quick should have won. This game should have won, and the game ball should have been given to Quickly. IQ.
Yeah, he's been very good.
100% for helping us navigate these waters, man. But I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be IQ. I thought it was going to be a win, and that the guards would lead us to this as well. But hold on. Let me bring in our guy, delusional Knicks fan.
Yo, what's going on?
Sure. Pleasure. Thank you.
What is going on, man?
Man, I've been watching you for a while now, man. You guys have been doing awesome work. But
we appreciate you, bro.
Tonight was a disappointing loss, man. It was a disappointing loss. Like my expectation for this was like we're gonna lose, but going throughout the game, that swiftly changed. You know how the Knicks can, have you up and down on the emotional tip. And I was just writing down my notes. I'm like, okay, career high for Jalen Brunson. I can see it because the last couple games he kept hitting his career high and above. So I'm thinking starting off tonight, 18 first quarters. So I was like, okay, yeah, he's pretty much going to carry us. But it's always the last minute defensive rebounds that we're not grabbing at key moments of the game. And it's like, man. But ultimately, I'm feeling good about it also. It's one of those games that we should have had, but I'm feeling good because we could get RJ back. Then I will put Quickly back to the bench. Now we can get bench production because there's no consistency with the bench, and I can't blame them. You're getting 14 minutes for Opie, 14 minutes for Fournier or Deuce. You can't really produce with that. So best thing is, combine those minutes and give it to somebody that can give you 30 points of consistent play. But I don't know who that can be. We definitely might need to trade. So it's devastating loss, but we're looking forward to that Indy game on Wednesday, which is a must.
Wait, so go ahead, Noah.
Commentating that game. If Wally Zerbiak's commentating that game, that's good.
For Halliburton, right?
The wannabe all-star.
Wait, is it at the Garden?
Yes.
Oh, yep. He's dropping 50.
Oh,
he's taking that game personal. We better win. That's a hard game. Oh my gosh.
Look,
Grimes. That game is solely on Grimes' hands because that's who Grimes is going to be the primary defender for that, and he needs to defend and give us points. I believe how many points he had tonight? I believe 6 or 4.
4 points, 1 of 7 shooting.
1 of 7 shooting. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. We appreciate the defense, but you got to knock those shots down. And
this is a rivalry game. Right, I've been liking the rivalry week moments. I've been liking the way the schedule's kind of been set up, where we would play a team and then not too long after that play them again, 2 days later. It's felt like playoff basketball. So against Chicago before, and it was another team. I think it was Toronto when they smacked us.
Toronto as well. Yep.
So Indiana is another one. Fortunately, I've been able to go to the 2 games out here. We split.
Okay.
But I believe they may have their last against them in the Garden. And Indiana got a squad, bro. Mathurin is like, a rookie of the year candidate. So what are your thoughts in terms of this team coming in? What do you think we need to do as we begin to shift our vision away from this frustrating loss, to this game on Wednesday? What are you guys thinking in terms of that game? What we need to do?
Yeah, they're a scrappy team. TJ McConnell's definitely going to compete hard. Miles Turner, I hope he shoots tons of threes against us because whenever he shoots tons of threes against us, it helps us out. But he's still a good interior rim protector. I feel like we just can't give them life. They're talented. They're young, but they're still going through learning how to deal with adversity. So this is a team you have to get up on early. You can't let them build a lot of confidence. Buddy Hield, we know he could shoot it.
Oh, man.
So we really collapse the perimeter. So I'm not feeling good if this team, if we go down to the wire with this, team, to be completely honest with you guys, even though we did last time, but we know they're definitely going to be seeking revenge. But defense, everyone's going to have to contribute, in my opinion. But it's going to be a tough game. I believe they're, one game behind us or nearly have the same record as us. So they're pretty good.
We're close.
Yeah, no, they took over the sixth spot with this loss. So we're pretty much, I think, a game under in the loss column and the win column as well. So I think we should be fine if we continue with the same game plan like we have last time. Halliburton is the head of the snake. So you really need to cut him and lock him up, because what he's averaging, I think, like 23 and 10 right now. He's putting up Steve Nash MVP numbers back in the day. So you pretty much stop him in that pick and roll, because that's all they're gonna do is run high pick and roll. So I think Tibbs will pull up a good game plan. We had a good game plan against Milwaukee. Giannis wasn't. I expected Giannis to go for 50, but we really did great against Giannis. So I believe we can do the same against Indy. But Indy has weapons, so we need to contest on the threes. Yes, we could worry about the paint, but definitely get back out and contest. Like you said, you got Halliburton hitting some type of threes. You have Mathurin, who's just been a brute. This dude is just that's a young Jimmy Butler right there, just kind of attacking and everything and going hard. So
what's his name killed us last game too? Aaron Naismith. He came out of nowhere.
Oh yes,
yeah.
We're how was 19 entering that game, and of course he has like 23 against us.
Well, don't forget, you have players having their career nights against the Knicks. That's always been the thing.
Always. What I do love, though, and I think you mentioned it earlier, Noah, as well, man, we've been playing great defense in this season so far. I think we've learned and we've developed more continuity as a defensive unit. I think as we begin to get more healthy in terms of our unit off of the bench, we're going to be solid. But this tightening of the rotation has allowed us to become more familiar with who needs to be where in terms of our defensive rotations and our pressure. Even this game, man, we had active hands. That's something that I written down as a note. We were active. Mitch is on another level, where how he's seeing the game and how he's adjusting in terms of where he needs to be and certain little things. He's on another level. He seems to be more locked in on the game. So I think going into Wednesday against this matchup, I think he'll be locked. The team will be locked in. Something I noticed about the game in Indy when we were here was, once again, I think that was something where Mitchell was kind of focused on that matchup. I know he hears the talk about Miles Turner for Mitchell Robinson. You know he got on his locker a checklist.
Yeah, the trade rumors since 2017.
Absolutely. So he's just like, all right, y'all want to send me to? I think he did that in Toronto, where he was just like, okay, all these people you're comparing me to, let me see how I stack up. He did it with Ayton. He absolutely did it with Ayton. He posted it on social media.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ayton was taking like pregame shots or whatever. So he had the silent video of him taking pregame shots, and he was looking like he didn't have to say nothing. You know what I mean? So, but I think defensively, I just like where we are, with the exception of finishing and closing the game in the fourth quarter. We are. It's not a fluke. It's frustrating, but it's not a fluke, and it's good that it's not a fluke, with the average age on this team being what it is.
Yeah. Do you think the floor spacing's going to be concerning when RJ comes back? Because Quickly's been shooting the ball very well. Because I know some people are toxic all over Twitter right now. Maybe we should have RJ off the bench when Quickly comes back.
No, I don't think so. I think because remember, our RJ game is great. Occasionally he would hit down a 3-point shot. He was actually our better 3-point shooter to kind of start the season. Everybody was kind of shooting bad anyway, but RJ can knock down the shot. The thing that I like is how Tibbs mix up the lineup. Because remember, he would sit Brunson and Randall first, and RJ would run with that second unit and kind of keep that flow going. And then, of course, he'd sit RJ, and then that's when he'd bring in the other two players. So you always had a dynamic scorer and someone that could facilitate and distribute. So I don't think it will disrupt anything. And then, maybe quickly production will probably drop because he would just go back to kind of a catch and shoot or just running that second unit. But I think it'll go back into rotation. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited to see Quick and Obi again together in the second year.
100%. Because
Man,
it
them
seems
dudes.
like Quickly's kind of the only one that can unleash Obi
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Derrick Rose. Like those are the only guys that you can see that constantly will feed Obi, get him in the right spot, get him going.
I love seeing Obi. I love seeing Quick continue to keep up his level of play even when Obi was out.
Yeah.
That was something I was kind of curious. I was wondering. I think I may even said it on the video. In order for Obi to really unlock who he is, I actually said the opposite. I argued for, the opposite. We need to get rid of Quick, or vice versa, because it's almost like, when you don't have your security blanket, that forces you to focus and lock in. But real quick, those people in the chat, run up the thumbs up real quick. We got delusional Knick fans in the house. We got at Clutch B-Ball TV. We're running our own All-Star game right now. We're running our own All-Star game. We got the point,
definitely.
we got the power forward, and we got the center. Okay, I don't know who's playing center, but we're running our own All-Star game right now.
Who's Brunson? Who's RJ? Who's Randall? I'm not Randall.
I'll take Randall. I'll take the bad shooting, the aggressiveness and being emotional, but I'll take it.
I'll take RJ. I'll take RJ. Clutter in the paint. But you talked about floor spacing, man. I don't know. I just think I think having a point guard increases the opportunity that we'll figure it out. And we've done that. I think in the past, it would have been a problem because the coach can say one thing, but you need the coach on the floor to be able to enforce what it is that we need to do. And man, we just can't talk enough about Brunson and what he's been able to do in terms of that. While I got you guys on though, early All-Star returns. Can we talk about it?
We definitely
can. We talk? And I'm not going to hold you all night. I know some of you guys, some people may have work tomorrow, but we can do this for a few minutes more. But talk to me a little bit about the early All-Star returns, guys.
I was definitely disappointed because me being a huge Knick fan, as soon as the votings opened up, I voted every day. You can only vote once a day. So every morning I'm waking up, putting in my same rotation. The only thing I do regret is, I can't regret because I don't think he had a chance, was just RJ. RJ was the only one from the Knicks that I really didn't vote as heavy because, I put in Brunson and Randall's the guys that I went 100% on.
Thanks.
Because I know that's a spot like, okay, we can definitely kind of get this votes to kind of vote them in as a possibility. Then when we saw the returns, they didn't even crack top 10.
It makes no sense. Why is Derrick Rose like in the
So that's the Chicago Hive. Remember,
that is the Chicago Hive. That's the Rose Hive.
Every year, Derrick Rose is going to get votes. That's what I love.
It's just broken. I don't even know what they do when it comes to voting. But.
So this year they said 50% of the votes from the fan, and then I believe the other 50 would be from the coaches or players voting to go for the starting lineup. So I'm like, that's what is that player from the Nets? He got over.
Claxton.
Who?
Claxton got. I'm like, Claxton.
The disrespect, bro. I'm telling you the disrespect.
I'm like, guys, are we not voting for Julius because of the previous, past situations? Come on, guys. We got to move on from that. He's on our team. He's killing from us. Yes, he's emotional. Yes, I have my ways of Julius. I wanted him gone, but
we all do.
I put in my apology letter. I said, I'm sorry. I'm happy you here. Let's win games.
My apology. I wouldn't even call it a real apology. I'm still no, he's playing good, but in the long term, when it comes to I still don't believe it. But of course, I appreciate his hustle and how hard he's playing, and obviously scoring at a high level. But obviously, I want to see if he can keep it up. We'll see.
Yeah, Clutch. I was saying the same thing, man. It's just Nick Claxton, bro. And you know what that is? That's the fact that you got two superstars on the Nets. I don't even want to talk about this injury that KD.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Glass just kind of caught an injury.
Yeah.
I hope he heals up. I don't want to wish any, orange and blue juju negatively on anybody, but it's only because there's eyes on that team that they'll throw in a Nick Claxton. When you have superstars like that, you have international fans as well, bandwagon riders who are going to hop to that. So ultimately, that's what it is. The only way that we can remedy that in the future is to win. That's the only way we could remedy that. Or if we were to have a player, let's say such as a Donovan Mitchell, et cetera, that
Yeah.
pops off the screen, you know, that's ultimately what it is. But anyway, looking at Wednesday this week, we got Porzingis coming in here on Friday. Can we assume that's going to be a loss because it's Friday night, Knicks? Or
We'll win.
should I knock on wood?
Wait, have we played the Wizards yet? We have, right?
I don't think we played the Wizards
think we did.
this year yet. No.
So that I think Beal's healthy. Cause it.
No, so Bill is out. Bill is out with a I think a sprained knee. So
Right there.
Porzingis been in his bag though. He's been playing good. So
we're gonna have to focus on Kuzma, Porzingis. Monte Morris is all right. I think we'll be fine at the center position though. I think Mitch will dominate that game, honestly.
Yeah. I'll count 2 wins, man. I think we'll wrap up a win against Indiana. We'll wrap up a win against the Wizards on Friday. So we'll be at it again, creating content about the start of a new streak. Calling it right now.
I hope.
oh yeah, I'm with you. I agree on that. New streak.
All right, everybody. Not going to do this too much more. We'll probably put out a little bit more content tomorrow as well. But any last comments for anybody as we begin to sign out on this reaction to the Knicks falling to the Bucks? Anybody else?
Appreciate you having me on, man, and hopefully the Knicks bounce back and we play good defensively for 4 quarters. I'll say that.
Man, appreciate y'all stopping by the crib. Let's do this more often.
Yes, sir.
Right?
It was a pleasure.
All right, folks. Keep in mind, same thing applies to life as applies to our team. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. And remember, no matter the outcome of tonight's game, we still here and we got next. Sheer brilliance, Knicks. We out.
Peace.
Peace.